Now, as our illegal migrant crisis continues to spiral out of control, with almost 40,000 reaching our shores this year and counting, something's got to give. And it looks like the Italians might be onto something. While Fishy Rishi Sunak wastes time fruitlessly seeking answers at French President Emmanuel Macron's door, Italian PM Giorgia Meloni's 2-month-old government has wasted no time in cracking down, banning male migrants from disembarking on their shores. Over the past week, the country has refused to assign 4 migrant rescue ships with a port of safety, instead allowing only vulnerable people, mainly women and children, to get off, leaving approximately 500 migrants still at sea. The furious charity-run vessels are refusing to leave, slamming the government's actions as illegal. But what do you think? Should Rishi follow Italy's footsteps and stop male migrants from disembarking on our shores? Let me know your thoughts. Email me down at gbnews.uk. Our poll running at GBNews. But to help you make up your mind, I'm going to bring in the former UKIP deputy, Suzanne Evans, and TV presenter and actress Jeni Barnett. So, Suzanne, do you think Giorgia Meloni's onto something here?
Yeah, I think her government's got the right idea, really, to give refuge to those genuinely fleeing war and persecution, but take a tough approach to those involved in illegal migration, not least to stop the hugely profitable and highly unethical, despicable human trafficking. I think she's trying a kind of Australian approach, isn't she? The Australian government had this problem until John Howard's government recognised that it was an organised racket and took moves to stop it. So Australia almost completely stopped the boats coming at all by processing illegal arrivals offshore, by denying anyone that tried to get into Australia that way permanent residency, and by turning those boats back when it was safe to do so. In fact, even went further than Giorgia Meloni's doing. They stopped the boats, and then anyone that, very often these migrants will scuttle the boats, they'll sabotage them. So they simply transferred them in Australia to boats that couldn't be sabotaged and sent them on their way. And I think that's really what has to be done. The only way to stop this problem is to make it clear that anyone trying to enter a country by these means is simply not going to get in. And that's clearly what the new Italian government is trying to do. And it really is the only answer to this problem.
Jeni Barnett, you disagree?
Totally disagree.
Why?
Why? They are a fascist government, right?
Oh, come on, Jeni.
Meloni is a fascist. She has accepted she's on the right wing. We have to solve the crisis.
Being on the right wing doesn't make you a fascist.
Okay, I accept this, maybe not. But we're looking at people. I want to know why they're stopping just the men and not the women and children. What do they think the men are going to do? What are they worried about?
Economic migrants, though, aren't they? Because if you look at the situation here, Jeni, the reality is the vast majority coming from Albania to join criminal gangs, prostitution rings, drug dealing rings, are men. They're young men. So what she's trying to do is say we're going to cut down on economic migrants.
All countries should be trying to solve the problem of the criminal gangs and the traffickers. You cannot make criminals of the people who are fleeing countries. There will be a percentage of people who are criminals, but we're not talking about that. You're talking about people who are trying to save their lives. The globe is in confusion. It is calamity at the moment, and people are moving all over the place. Because of what's happening to their countries.
So do you not think we should protect our borders at all?
I don't. We are all humanitarian in this situation. We should be all, not men, not gender, not teachers, nurses, doctors, lawyers who are coming here who want to work. We need the work.
So in your view, open up our borders, anyone can come in, anyone can use the NHS, anyone can lean on our already overwhelmed housing system.
Expats go across the world and they're not called migrants, they're not called asylum seekers.
No, because they do it legally. Because they follow a process. We can't just turn up in China or the US. We've got to follow a process. And to be frank, Jeni, most of these folk coming from Albania are living a perfectly nice life. It's a NATO country.
there is a percentage of people who are coming over here that the world should be looking at. We have to look at safe settlement. We have to look at safe routes for sanctuary. We have to give people who are fleeing
from NATO countries, Suzanne. Suzanne, do you want to come in here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm tempted to say, let's all get round to Jeni's house for a big party, because she clearly wants to open her doors to everybody. So let's all hive down there. Her house looks really nice. I wouldn't mind living there. Let's all pack round. You know, I'm sorry, Jeni, but if people were invading your house, you would have a very, very different view. Every country has the right to patrol its own borders. And let's be honest, this situation, we now have 87,000 asylum seekers languishing in around 300 hotels around the country. Some of them 4- and 5-star hotels that some of the, you know,
costing £7 million a
nearly
day.
1.2 million people on our housing waiting list would love to be in. It's costing £6.8 million a day, and we're living in a time of austerity.
I mean, Jeni, just before you come back in, Jeni, let me ask you a direct question. Are you happy to take in a migrant, an illegal migrant from Albania, without knowing what they're here for?
No, my flat, when we had a flat in London, we were living next door. This was a long time ago, to Albanians who were very naughty. They were pimps and they were doing all sorts of stuff. There's good and bad in everything. What I'm saying is...
But you're not happy to have one in your own home?
That's not the answer.
So where do you want the 40,000 folk who've come here this year to live?
Listen, I'm going to answer you the way that politicians answer. Libya and Turkey have taken in millions of people. We've taken in thousands of people. As this climate crisis grows, there will be more people walking around. And if we cannot extend the hand of friendship, shame on us.
Suzanne, final word to you.
There's currently 87,000. We haven't not taken in thousands of people. We've taken in tens of thousands of people, and we're spending £6.8 million a day. By no account whatsoever can that be said to be stingy. And we're not talking here about people now fleeing war and persecution. We're talking about economic migrants who have travelled through safe countries to get here. If they really were fleeing war and persecution, they'd be very happy to stay in the safer countries that they get to first of all. And what's worse, Jeni, is you are depriving
Jeni, you just come in very quickly. Just come in very quickly, Jeni, before we head.
Of support as well. You really are.
I want to know.
Can I go on? Can I go on? You know, we've got a situation in Kent, which of course is seeing most of the downsides of this now. Children who can't get a school place because of the abnormal influx of migrants. They're having to be bused 25 miles away to go
Suzanne,
to school.
I'm going to let
the council has said.
Jeni respond.
As long as we operate in an us and them, as long as we see people travelling around the world as them, not us. As long as we throw personal jibes like, would you have somebody in your house? Would you not have somebody?
It's not a personal jibe. It's a practical question, Jeni, because I don't know where you expect the 50,000 who are going to arrive this year to live. And I, for one, am not prepared to keep paying £7 million a day.
I would not be sitting talking to you. The hand of friendship had not been extended to my family who fled Russia and then fled the camps.
Yes, I would be. And there needs to be generosity. There needs to be generosity for genuine asylum seekers and refugees. But Jeni, the criminals coming from Albania are not that. But it's been a fascinating debate.